How you doing, everybody? This is Mike Nasty. This is Mike Nasty. This is Sports Talk with Mike Nasty. How's it going? Hey, Greg, how you doing, Greg? It's a Monday night. We're here at 7:40, Monday night, hanging out with the fatman, checking it out here. This is Mike Nasty. Yeah, that was a good game. Pats took on they rolled the Chargers. Except for the only thing, they're 3-5 on the road, and you're going into Kansas City, and so you got the GOAT against the kid. You got probably one of the best quarterbacks ever against one of the upcoming kids coming out through, coming up in the ranks, playing the old guy that, whenever you go. And now supposedly the Pats are the underdogs. They're 3-point. They're giving up 3 points. So the Chiefs are the guys. So you got 3 scores through your running back Michelle. 8 straight trips to the AFC Championship. Nobody can tell you any better than that. Those guys know how to get there. Patriots are, like I said, rode through the Patriots. Even if they ain't going to the Patriots, still, they say it's supposed to be cold. It's going to be another snowy, the wind chill is going to be cold. Maybe snow again out there. But that's nothing to these guys. You got weather up there. They played through it. Brady's been around, 41 years old, and the guy can still throw the football and do what he does, man. And he got guys around him that he makes those guys better. Edelman, Michelle, the running back, all those guys. That's a good team. That's a good offense. Belichick's a good coach. Everybody tends to say, I hate New England. Hey, they get there. It's getting there. It's putting that time in, and they can be 0-4, and you can never count them out. They could have the worst start whatsoever. You can never count the Patriots out of anything. So you got the top teams in every, the top guys that finished in the division. That's who you got going for the championships. You got New Orleans against the Rams. That's a run game right there. You got 2 run games, and they just found C.J. Anderson in December, and he goes up, and they each go for 100 yards. Gurley and Anderson go for 100 yards. And you got Kamara and what's his name? The old Alabama guy for New Orleans. 2 running backs that, New Orleans can put a run game on you. They were down by 14 and they ended up coming back. I think that was the largest deficit or something in a playoff game. It said so. So now you got the Chiefs and the Patriots, and you had Rivers said that Brady picked apart the Chargers defense, and that Brady's one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history. This goes to show you that what's the guy got 5 rings. So all these games are good matchups. They all have contrasts. They're all like, each other. Like I said, you got the kid against one of the best quarterbacks around, and then on the other side, same thing. You got a quarterback, you got a Hall of Fame quarterback against the up-and-comer, in Jared Goff against Drew Brees. The magic man, Drew Brees, get you out of anything. So that's what you got going down on the other side in the NFC. You got another young guy going against an old vet that's been around, been in playoff games, won the Super Bowl. He's been around. Drew Brees has been around. The clutch comeback kid, So it should be a good weekend of football, and we'll see. I say Rams and Patriots are going to be in there. I think the Rams are going to have their run game. I don't think New Orleans defense is going to be able to stop that run game. especially if they're both clicking like they were last week. I don't think New Orleans can stop that. You saw Jeffries that pass went right through his hands, and he was just like, "Oh." So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, the kid out there, Mahomes, man, he threw his first 5 games. The guy threw for like 300 yards or so with 4 touchdowns in each game. I think he came out fired the first of the year. He like had 17 touchdowns in the first 4 games. But and he can throw the ball. He's a kid, he has mobility, he has the legs under him. You got to contain him. But New England always has something on up. Belichick, they'll have something for the kid that he'll never see or something. Kid will be confused. I was looking at the college top 10. I thought Maryland was getting into the top 25. Right now, they didn't have them up there. But, because they beat a couple of top ranked 25 teams this week. And now they're playing Wisconsin. Let's see what that scores. But right now, you got Duke is number 1, Michigan, Tennessee is still up there, Virginia, Gonzaga. Duke right now is playing Syracuse. The Boeheim 2-3 zone defense, it's hard to match up. Michigan State, Kansas, Texas Tech, Virginia Tech, and Nevada. That rounds out the top 10. Ain't going through all top 25, but that's some of the stuff. But, the NFL and all these. And then in the New Orleans game, Michael Thomas had 12 receptions with 171 yards. So they got to stop that. They got to stop the receivers. So the Rams defensive backs, see what they can do. I don't know how good the Rams defense is. I know that they're high scoring offense, and usually the defense isn't that good. I don't think they're ranked up there that well, but. Oh yeah, you're going to Atlanta if it's the Pats and the Saints. I saw you were out there yesterday. I saw pictures of you and your son were out there. Kind of cold, wasn't it? I heard your sister said she'll watch it from the couch. But yeah. So the guy, the little quarterback from Oklahoma, Kyle Murray, he's decided that he wanted to go into the NFL draft, but he's going to keep his options open for the A's. The A's are trying to introduce him. They want him. The kid's a multi-sport athlete, and the A's are trying to give him some incentive to make him baseball. But he wants to go into the draft. He declared for the draft. So they said he'd be a second or third rounder. So I'd rather go to baseball where they're going to pay you more money and the incentives are there, either way. All the stuff is there for you. If you get a baseball contract, they're paying you out no matter what. You can sit on the sidelines. I think in some of this stuff, in the NFL, it's kind of quirky with this, how they do it or what they're going to do when it comes to paying you out if you're not playing. But we'll see what that is. He's on there. That's somebody watching it. But, yeah, that's what they have. So in the NBA, your top teams in the East are Toronto for the Atlantic, Miami for the Southeast, and Milwaukee for the Central. In the West for the NBA, you got Houston because of Harden. Harden's throwing up things like crazy. He's had this 630-point game. He had like all these games where he was doing triple doubles, and he was throwing up 40 points, 10 rebounds, and 12 assists consecutively. Supposedly he matched Kobe Bryant's 30-point streak. Had I think it was 16, and the dude more than that was I think Wilt Chamberlain. He had a time where he was throwing up 20 times in a row, 20 consecutive games where he threw up 30 points. But that's something. I mean, that's just every night he's out there throwing. So he has that team on his back. He has Houston in front of that division there out in the southeast, and then Denver for the northwest. I mean southwest. Denver for the northwest and Golden State for the Pacific. They're the top of those divisions. And the Wizards, I think they're out 11th in the power rankings for the Atlantic for the East Conference. So if the playoffs were today, they wouldn't make it. They're about 5 games back, and they're struggling without a couple guys. But yeah, they went down to the wire in double overtime to the Raptors. They lost 140-138 last night in double overtime. But that's our NBA. Steph Curry, he had 48 points, 11 threes to shut down the Mavericks. That guy can shoot the basketball, 11 threes, and he had 48 points. And like I said, Harden matched his 30-point streak tied with Kobe, 16 consecutive 30-point games, and Chamberlain had 20. And that was in 1964, Chamberlain had that streak. I wasn't even born yet. I was born 2 years after that. I was born in 66. Harden on that last night, he went 1 for 17 with the threes. So he wasn't hot with the threes last night. Sometimes he can drain them from midway in between half court and the 3-point line. He's stepping back and draining shots. A lot of those guys should do that. I think they should put a 4-point shot in that these guys are getting, going for. Make another line, make it a 4-point shot. So the Orioles for 2019, the bounce back players are hoping these guys come back. They still have to get a coaching staff together. They haven't told you about any of the coaching staff. They haven't done much, but it should be getting in place. They only got 3 to 4 weeks left, and then they'll be calling pitchers and catchers down to Sarasota, for spring training. But they're hoping that Alex Cobb comes back and Trey Mancini. In the second half of the ERA was, and in the second half he had 11 starts. He held them to 2.56 with 51 hits and 38 strikeouts. So he finally figured out the American League, or that part of the American League. So he figured out what he was doing and started to control his pitches a little bit better. Trey Mancini, his second half, in 2017 he hit 276, 24 home runs, and 78 RBIs. 2018, he went 242, but he still had 24 home runs. In August, he started to heat up. He was hitting 291. So he would probably be better off at first base than playing the outfield and DHing, they think. So they're going to try him at different spots to see what he can do. And he's considered the leader of the squad now, one of the vets, because he's been around. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see if they're going to be competitive or if they're going to be, 47 wins and 115 losses again. We can't be like, the top of the echelon. We're not going to be there with New York. We're not going to be there with Boston. Those guys are just, those franchises just know how to play. They know how to build. New York brings guys within. Boston, they don't do a heavy trade. I mean, they give up money, but they bring people up. They find the next man up. The next man up. I went to a bookstore. That's what it's about. Stepping up. When your number's called, that's how you stay out there, by playing and contributing. If you don't want to stay on the courts or stay on the field, you don't contribute. You don't stay on the field. And that's what the next man up policy is. So like I said, Murray declared for the draft. The White Sox, they offered Manny an 8-year deal. It hasn't been confirmed if he took it or not, but they offered him 8 years. The Phillies are supposed to be going after Harper. And there's a couple other, it's going to start getting heavier with the trades. This month is going to be the heavy trade bait month since it's starting up. So everybody's going to be moving. We've done a couple little minor things with pitchers and infielders and Rule 5 drafts and catching guys off waivers and things like that. So that's what the Orioles have been consistently trying to get people off the waiver wire through other teams. You know, they've been working that for a while. They've always looked at Rule 5s and things like that. We'll see what this new management does as far as all that stuff goes. But all those I like to see McVay will be the youngest guy to go to the Super Bowl if he can get past New Orleans. If the Rams can make it into the championship week, that Golf, Gurley, I don't know if New Orleans will be able to handle those guys. But if not, Saints are, they're a good team. That would be a good matchup too. Saints and the Patriots. I just don't think Kansas City. Andy Reid needs he deserves one. He needs to get to the Super Bowl. That guy's been around coaching. His tree of coaches, that's an amazing line of coaches. He has like 6 or 7 guys that are, been underneath his tool as the other head coaches right now. Our guy Harbaugh's from the Andy Reid tree. You got a couple others. There's about 4 or 5 others that have been out there that, have been through coaching through Andy Reid. So, I mean, he deserves one day. We'll see if this is his time. With Tyreek Hill and all those guys, I mean, they got a team. They're a formidable opponent. We'll see how it goes. See what they do out there. All my stuff. We'll wait for the matchup. But like I said, I wouldn't go against the Patriots in anything. Whenever you go, when you know you're going against the Patriots, you know you're going in for a dogfight, and it's going down to the wire. You know that guy can bring him back anytime. You give him a minute on the clock, 45 seconds on the clock, he's getting them in the field goal range if it's a close game. So you can never stop. I was watching the Pittsburgh game thinking, all right, that's Brady. He's going to go down there. There's a lot of time. There's 2 minutes left on the clock or something. But that day he didn't get it done. Pittsburgh ended up beating him. But so yeah, Pittsburgh, they're having that. Juju Schuster says that he wants Antonio Brown back. The head office says that they don't think they're going to retain them because of all that stuff. They were just in turmoil. They were probably the best team on paper in our division, but just all that stuff, just got to them. But yeah, Pittsburgh, they got a couple young guys now, but I don't know. They said they're going to rework Ben's contract. But he's getting old too. They had, I guess, Murray in Tennessee's retiring, so they gave him a farewell. Everybody's talking about how Andy Murray, how good he was, or whatever he's doing. He retired after this Australian Open. I don't follow tennis that well, kind of like everything else. But they have Andy Murray's getting ready to retire. He was a good tennis player. I guess he's been ranked pretty much in the top echelon. Tennis is weird because you could be at the top and then you're down to like number 300. You know, You get in there, you'd be surprised how the rankings go and how low you can go. And now, Serena comes in after being out, and she jumped back to the top fairly quick, beating everybody up. But so I haven't seen any Ravens stuff. If there's anything going on with them, just besides the cops that took over is going to be, I guess, going to the combines, looking for prospects. See what we need in receivers because I don't think both those guys, two of them, probably aren't coming back. Snead might come back because he had a good connection with Jackson. I don't know about Brown, but we need outside linebacker help. We need defense to need a little bit of work because some of those guys, like I said before, some might be retiring. Weddle might retire if they don't give him money or offer him a new contract. So we'll have to see what he does. See what happens on the defensive side, offensive side of the ball. They got a new head coordinator. I told you Roman took over, and Roman was the guy that's been working with the line on the line schemes and working with Lamar. So he said they'll have a whole year to work together. They'll get in the books, they'll do stuff, and we'll see what kind of offense we'll see next year. See how potent it is. I mean, they ended up number 9. They were number 2 in rushing. They had almost 3 times where they were hitting 300 yards. They had like 250. One, I guess, against Cleveland, they missed it by 2. They had 298, almost rushed for 300 as a team. Between Dixon and Gus the Bus and Lamar, that's a triple threat action right there. You don't know who's going where. So, how's it going, everybody? How you doing, Chris Carroll? Chris Carroll likes it. How you doing, Chris? Hey, if anybody needs I tell you, if you're around Baltimore or in Maryland, you need a realtor. Chris Carroll's the guy. He'll take good care of you. And he works hard. He's an honest guy. He'll make sure that it's done right. And he does a lot of the legwork that works well for you. So, you need anything. If you're buying a house, Chris Carroll, he's the guy. Look him up. And if you go into Martin's, he's on the shopping carts. You look at the little picture that say Chris Carroll. I think it's Remax or Advantage, one of those two. But if you go to Martin's, if you live in Carroll County, look on the small shopping carts. His picture's there. Every time I'm in the shopping center, I see somebody, I say, hey, I know that guy when I see him with that cart. But no, he is a good guy. He's a rugby guy. That's Adam's second day. But, yeah, if you need any real estate stuff, go to old Chris. But, yeah, like I said, Roman taking over the offense for the Ravens. Morningway will be finding somewhere else. I guess he's going to be stepping out, they said. So, even though he did a good job, I mean, they work that offense. Sometimes play calling's a little crazy, but that's everywhere. You make your decision, you make your play. You might not agree with it. Hey, that's what they thought it would work. They go for it. I mean, John goes for a lot of 4th down and ones and stuff. He's not afraid to pull that trigger, no matter what part of the game it is. He's going. It really depends on what side of the ball, what side of the field he's on, but he'll go for it. And he has no shame, playing the game the way it is. I see a lot of comments up here, but I can't scroll down and read it all. When I turn it off, I can see them all, and I'll respond to it. But that's where I need a co-host, that he can control these cameras. I can't see everybody that's in here all the time. I'm trying not to make dead space, or I'm rambling on like Rambling Rose. I'm just talking trash. But college basketball, I was trying to find out the score of the Maryland game playing Wisconsin. Wisconsin's not as good as they were, but anything in the Big Ten still gives them. Still, it's a tough matchup. And they're young freshmen, but they have Callan Jr. He's been stepping up, scoring 19 points a game and 10 assists a game. So he's been stepping up with Fernando, and those guys have been carrying the load. They've won 5 straight, so the Terps are. I thought they'd be in the top 25, but in the paper they didn't have them there yet. They had Marquette. Marquette and them were supposed to move up, but they weren't in the top 25 yet. But by the end of we'll see what they do. See if they can make it to the tournament. They've had they beat 2 opponents that have been in the top 25. So we'll see if they can make it to the NCAA. They might get big. But the Big Ten's are tough. You got Michigan that's number 2 right now. You got Michigan State number 8. You had Ohio State that was number 16, but they dropped out, I think, because they lost. So you had 3 Big Ten schools in the top 25. Or even more than that, because you had Indiana and all of them. So all that stuff is there. We'll see how Maryland does. Like I said, the Maryland women, they were ranked number 9 not too long ago. I guess they won yesterday. They played yesterday. Here in we don't have a lot to mess with here. But yeah, spring training's coming out for the Orioles. All that's heading on, getting ready to see what they do. You get summer baseball, going to the games. But that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. This is the Fat Man. This is Mike Nasty. This is Monday night. This is Sports Talk with the Fat Man. I'm doing my podcast that'll be sent to you on Facebook. If you hit that, you go to the app and you can listen to it. You can like it. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. This is the Fat Man, Mike Nasty, sitting here with Sports Talk. Talking the other day, I talked about Colin Kaepernick, about how the guys are saying, they took a poll and half the guys said that they wouldn't mind having him back being their quarterback. But out of 85 guys, 81 said yes, 2 said no, and 2 others had no comment. Somebody goes out and they do, you got that right. You had that right to do it. But, that's the stage you picked, and now, that's what, now he's dealing with what, everybody has mixed opinions. And everybody's right to whatever opinion they have. He took his stand, and that's what he decided to do. And now, he wants to play football, and he's getting a cold shoulder from everybody because they think it's, he's going to distract it from their team, the owners. He's saying the owners are banning them, that they're collaborating, not to make sure that nobody takes them, But by this time, there's some teams that need this help. He threw for 12,472 yards and 72 touchdowns. And he's only 31 years old, like I said the other day. He's still young. He's still in football shape. And he can throw the football. And he's pretty accurate. He's, I'd probably take him over some of these guys that they got out there now, but, they're not willing to give him a shot yet. So maybe he can go to these new teams coming up, the XFL and the other leagues that they're starting, these indoor leagues and all these other bands that are coming around. I think that XFL comes up in 2020. There's another one starting this year. They got a couple teams, they'll be playing in the springtime or something like that. But, or you can go to the CFL. That's even good football. I like watching CFL football. See all the guys that go over there and try to make it there. Only guy that I knew that made it there was Fleet. And he's bounced around all over. I watched this 30 for 30. That's pretty interesting. Watching those ESPN 30 for 30s about different guys. Another good one was Bo Jackson. But that guy would have stuck around. Playing baseball and football. Who knows what it could have been. Just like if Lenny Bias played with Larry Bird. Lenny Bias didn't do what he did, and him and Larry Bird would have got together for the Boston Celtics. That would have been a tandem. That would have been like the mailman what's his name? The little guard. I forgot his name. See? My mind isn't there. Anybody know that guy's name? The mailman and Jesus, I forgot his name. That's the match. I'll figure it out. I'll tell you another time. Yeah, tandems like that. That would have been Bias and Bird back then. But some of you guys probably don't even know who Len Bias is. Lenny Bias. But that's it. Oh, there's my wife screaming. I don't know what she's screaming at. But all right. That's Sports Talk. That was a Monday night Sports Talk. I don't know if I'll be back Tuesday night because I got basketball. My daughter's basketball team's going to Glenelg, play Glenelg, Howard County team. We'll see if they can get their fourth win. That's two more than they had last year. Actually, it'll only be one more, including the playoffs. But it'll be three more considered regular season wins than last year. But we'll see how that goes. I'll come back and tell you if they win or lose. But the boys basketball team's undefeated. Friday night they had a game 78-79. They won in overtime. And that was a heck of a game. That's a basketball game right there. They could play some basketball for a bunch of, country bumpkins. Some of them boys can get up and play, especially Century boys. They had some guys that were knocking down threes. You got to cover that team. They can hit the 3-pointers. And Wonder's a good coach, and so is Tom's, Brian. He's a good coach too. That's good. That's a good matchup because at the end of the game, the boys talk to each other. They know each other. They're buddies. It's camaraderie. It was a good scene. The gym was filled. The kids were, the student sections were crazy. They all in fun though. All in fun. Nothing to me. No bad stuff. It was all good. It was a good time for, high school sports. They do well. Their coaches are good. Those two guys have a good program. They do good out there. So it's good basketball. Fundamentals are sound. The coaching's good. It was a good game. We'll see them again. We'll be at Century. That'll be another barn burning. The gyms will be full. That's like the thing you do with Carroll County. Go to basketball games, football games, when Century and Liberty play. Everybody likes to go see him. All right. That's Mike Nasty. That's the Fat Man. This is Sports Talk. And this shirt says, "No one fights alone." This was years ago, a little boy. It was a fundraiser for cancer. And this is actually an abuse team that the whole CCFL is contributing to help the family. But that's what it's about, helping each other out when people are in need. So thank you from the Fat Man, Mike Nasty. This is my Sports Talk. I'll have some stuff coming up in my YouTube channel, my squat challenge. Like I tell you, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a trained fitness guy. I just do this for myself to keep my fat self in check. So what I do, you don't have to follow me. But I'm the Fat Man. I'm Mike Nasty. We're rolling it out with the Fat Man. Fat Man, Mike Nasty. See you, everybody. See you, Greg. Good luck to the Patriots. I'll see everybody on Wednesday. I'll do a Wednesday night sports talk.